What's good, everybody out there, man? How are you guys doing on this lovely, lovely Friday? Welcome to the Cheat True Podcast with your boy Justin J. Will, whatever you want to call me. I hope everybody's doing well out there, man, on this Friday afternoon, Friday evening, whenever you may be listening to this, whatever day you may be listening to this. I appreciate you for dropping in, checking in on your boy, because you could have been anywhere in the world. But as always, you're here with me, man. So I apologize for being absent on Tuesday's podcast. Well, Tuesday's podcast that didn't get recorded. It's been a long ass week, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long ass week. I'm just put it like that. It's been a long ass week for you, boy, man. This thing called adulthood that we were so ready for as kids. Yeah. I'm just put it like that, man. Being an adulting, man, adulting. But hey, it is what it is, man. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here, speaking to you guys again, man. Ready to give this cheap truth, this cheap truthness, like I always do around this time, man. So, a few things I want to talk about. A few things on the brain. You know what I'm saying? Got Kawhi Leonard out here saying he want to go to the L.A. Lakers. Saying he want to get the hell up out of San Antonio. So I'll give you guys my opinion on that. Jameis Winston. The boy suspended. He's getting suspended for 3 games for the groping incident that allegedly happened back in 2016. So talk about that. And Baker Mayfield made an appearance on the Herd today. And I want to talk about Baker Mayfield for a little bit, man. And that'll round out the show. So let's hop right into the Kawhi situation, man. So Kawhi Leonard, as you guys may or may not know, wants to get up out of San Antonio, man. The story broke. Reports came out. Hey, Kawhi Leonard, he wants out of there. He wants to get the hell up out of San Antonio, man. He wants to get up out of San Antonio. And on top of that, he wants to go to L.A. Now, he would prefer the Lakers, but he'll take the Clippers. He wants to be in L.A. So he just wants to be in L.A. He wants to get away from the Spurs, and he wants to be in L.A. So Greg Popovich actually went out and visited Kawhi Leonard and talked to him. And according to Stephen A. Smith, Kawhi Leonard was like, oh, well, he looked him dead in his eye and said, man, I don't want to be here. Like, I do not want to be a Spur. I want to get up out of here. So a lot of speculation, a lot of reports coming out about teams calling the Spurs, Cavs, have been calling, which I would imagine. You got a guy like Kawhi Leonard who's, you know, he hasn't come out and said it himself, but all reports indicate that he wants to get up out of there. I mean, damn, who wouldn't call for him? I mean, I'm pretty sure every freaking team in the league, besides the Golden State Warriors, maybe, are trying to get on the phone with the Spurs and see if they can orchestrate something. But yeah, man, I told you guys this was coming a long time ago, right? Remember I was talking about this and how Kawhi Leonard felt very betrayed by Tony Parker coming out, Manu Ginobili coming out, having that little players-only meeting, Greg Popovich coming out, speaking on him. I'm telling y'all, man, those guys like that, bro, I'm kind of one of those guys, too. That's why I can identify with them. Like, once you do something like that, I really just can't trust you no more. Like, I really don't want to have anything to do with you. Like, he's looking at it, I think he's looking at it from the standpoint of, damn, I've put up with so much, I've grown so much, I've worked so much to get this far. I mean, Kawhi Leonard coming out of he went to San Diego State, I think. Nobody didn't think Kawhi Leonard was gonna be what he was gonna be. Like, I don't know if anybody ever thought that he was. I don't know if anybody ever necessarily thought that he was gonna be terrible, but nobody saw this. I don't care who the hell you are. Yeah, you didn't see this from Kawhi Leonard. Like, Kawhi Leonard is a superstar in my eyes. Now, he doesn't have a superstar persona necessarily, but to me, like, he's a superstar. Like, okay, I'm put it like this. Even if you don't want to give him the superstar label, I think he has superstar talent. Like, he's the best two-way player in the game, point blank, period. And to me, I don't think it's really close. But yeah, man, when he saw that, and they were questioning him and his toughness and all that. I mean, bro, that hurts. You feel me? Especially if you've been putting in all the work. You know what type of person you are. And at the end of the day, hell, I play with y'all. So y'all know what type of person I am. You see how hard I work. Really? You think I would be doing something like that? Like, you think I would, like, just not play just to not play, or I'm too scared to play, or anything of that nature? No, man, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. And I think that's what he thought. He saw that and he was like, yeah, I'm out of there. I think he could have played toward the end of the season. But I think once those meetings popped off, and once the Spurs players, the Tony Parkers, whatever, started coming out saying stuff in the public, in the media, then that's when he was like, okay, you know what, screw it. You do it. And Kanye West's voice, if you think you could do it better, you do it. Shoot. So, I mean, I can't blame the guy for feeling that way, man. Like I said, I identify with that because I'm the same way. You feel me? Like, don't tell me, or don't question, especially if you know me. Like, don't question my integrity. You know what type of person I am. You know how much work I put in. You know what time it is with me. So don't come out and say all this crap and think it's just gonna fly and that's just gonna be that. Like, no, it don't work like that. So I don't blame Kawhi Leonard, man, stepping up, saying, man, I ain't down with that. I'm not down with that. Felt betrayed. Felt like the Spurs were two-faced or whatever. So, I don't know, man. Now, if I'm the Spurs, I'm going to tell you this. I try to wait this thing out as long as possible, to be honest. I mean, now Greg Popovich, he went there. Apparently, it didn't work out. But, what's that Michael Jordan quote, man? I've never lost a game. I just ran out of time. So, I mean, as long as you got time on the clock, boys, I mean, you go for it. But, if I'm the Spurs, I definitely do not trade him to the Lakers. I'm thinking about it from a business standpoint. Now, I know everybody, that's what they want to see, right? That's what everybody wants to see, right? We want to see Kawhi Leonard go to the Lakers, then LeBron and Paul George, end up in LA or whatever. We want to see that, right? We would love to see that. That would be great television. That would be NBA Western Conference Finals, them versus the Warriors. It'll be like a great series or whatever. But if I'm the Spurs, damn it, I ain't doing that. I don't care. I don't want to help the Lakers out. I ain't trading Kawhi Leonard nowhere in the West. Now, I will say this. Now, the Lakers, they do have an enticing package now they could offer up. So if they offered up Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and a Kyle Kuzma, that's enticing. I don't know if you're necessarily going to get something better than that from another team. I mean, you get 3 young players. Now, you got a guy in Brandon Ingram who a lot of people looked at as, oh, yeah, he's like a mini KD or something. I don't know. I don't know about all that. Lonzo Ball, Jason Kidd, maybe. Kyle Kuzma, good player, good rookie year. But yeah, I don't know if Greg Popovich is necessarily the person that's gonna deal with all those guys, man. Especially with them making rap songs and having rap beefs on the internet, making diss tracks toward each other. Like Greg Popovich doesn't strike me as the type of guy who's gonna deal with it. It's one of those instances where you're like, man, I'm too old for this crap. Like, man, I'm too old for this, but I ain't got time to deal with it. Now, Brandon Ingram doesn't really come with any problems. Maybe Greg Popovich feels like, hey, I can coach him up. Me, I think he could. I mean, he would definitely. I'm gonna tell you this: he would get the best out of all 3 of those players. He would get the best. He would get the best out of them. I truly believe that. you know. But yeah, man. If I'm the Spurs, I don't do it. I don't trade him to the Lakers, and I try to wait this thing out. I mean, maybe you keep him and try to wait till the trade deadline when teams start getting desperate. You know, maybe somebody gets injured, or I don't know. I don't know what happens, man. But now, then on that same tip, I mean, now you got a guy who's, not really all in like he used to be because he doesn't want to be there. So you run the risk of having that stuff permeate through the locker room or whatever. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But it would be cool to see Kawhi in LA. I ain't gonna lie. It would be cool to see Kawhi in LA. That would bring a jolt back to the Lakers franchise. Especially if you get him, Paul George, and LeBron together. That would that would be showtime. For real. That would be showtime, man. Now, the thing I hate with this Kawhi Leonard situation, which just shows you how life is, period, how people turn on you. All of a sudden, people are questioning him and him as a person and, him they're questioning his integrity again. You got guys like Skip Bayless who, Skip Bayless, he is who he is, right? He kind of plays into that troll character a little bit. I don't believe Skip really believes. I believe that he actually believes the majority of the stuff that he says, but a lot of times I think it's just him playing into the role of Skip Bayless, the troll aspect of it. It makes for good TV. It makes for a good follow, and it is what it is. But you got guys like him saying, "Oh, well, he crumbled under the pressure of the expectations." And all that crap, man. Like, I don't think Kawhi care about nothing like that, bro. I think Kawhi Leonard is one of those guys, bro, that's just gonna go out there, man. He gonna have his cornrows rolled up tight. Gonna strap on the sneakers. He gonna go out there and he gonna play. He don't give a damn about expectations or none of that. I think he's just one of those guys, man. He's just gonna go out there, lace him up, and play ball on both ends. I think that's bad. Like, I wouldn't go that far. Like, I don't think he crumbled and just said, "Oh, I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna say screw it and just not play." Like, I don't think it was that. I really think that when they came out and said that stuff, that was it for Kawhi. Y'all think y'all so damn good? You so tough, Tony Parker. You so tough, manager. All y'all so tough. All right, well, get your ass on then. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna still get paid. I'm gonna get my money. Shoot, I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna get paid. Hey, y'all do it. And I'm gonna sit right here. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Since you want to act like that, since you want to question me and question my toughness, well, you go ahead and do it. So, Kawhi Leonard situation, man, should make for a good NBA free agency. Man, with the whole LeBron thing, Paul George, is he going back to OKC? I don't think he's going back to OKC. LeBron staying with Cleveland, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, man, this is shaping out to be an interesting offseason for the NBA, for sure. So that's that. So switching gears, let's head to the NFL to talk about Jameis Winston, man. So Jameis Winston, quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who is probably more famous for this 17 seconds right here than he is for actually being a good quarterback at this point.
I say one thing. I want everybody to look at me. I'm going to pass it to corner after I say one thing. Let's go. That's a W. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight? Come in, man.
So I understand that the funniness of that clip may not necessarily come across that well without the visuals to go along with it. So if you have never seen that clip before, all you gotta do is YouTube Jameis Winston eat a W, and you will see that clip. It's a pretty funny ass clip because, for one, just the whole concept of eating a W and him licking his fingers like he just got to eat some chicken or something. And the W that he made in the video was crooked. It was like some handicap W sign or something. And it was just funny, man. And now that I think about it, it's like, I know he rehearsed it. He didn't just come up with that on the spot. There's no way he came up with that on the spot. That's one of those things. It's just like somebody who either they've been sitting on a joke, or like a rapper or somebody like that. They've been sitting on a song or something. They try to make a song and try to get opinions about it. Like, oh, yeah, man, what y'all think about this? Somebody's like, yeah, that's it. And then they drop it and it's like, nah, pimp. Who told you to come out with this song? Who told you to write this verse? Or who told you that this verse was hot? Because it's not. And I think the same thing happened with Jameis Winston. Somebody gave him the head nod on that pregame speech, man, and it didn't work out, man. It didn't work out. It really didn't work out because I think they lost that game. I think they lost pretty bad. I could be wrong, but I think they lost that game. So anyway, Jameis Winston gets suspended for 3 games. This is all going back to an incident that was reported in 2017 that got out in the public, 2017, but it actually happened in 2016. So allegedly, Jameis Winston groped an Uber car driver. So the lady whose name is, I'm looking here, Kate. Her name is Kate. And she filed a complaint with Uber about it, but she didn't file a complaint with the police. So there were no charges filed, anything of that nature. He didn't get arrested. The only thing that happened was he just got his Uber privileges revoked from Uber. So he can't ride in Ubers anymore. Or he can't use that account. That account was disabled or whatever. He can't Uber everywhere. So that happened, and he's gonna be suspended for 3 games. So I'll say this, man, about Jameis Winston. Now, first of all, I guess he'll end up appealing this. Now, whether it works or not, I seriously doubt it. Seems like the NFL has been they've been very hard on like keeping the decision that they made. Like, they are going to, if they say we're going to suspend you for 3 games, we're going to suspend you for 3 games. Ezekiel Elliott tried to appeal, it didn't work. So they are all about trying to send a message with this type of stuff. Like, yeah, this is not going to be tolerated. So I don't think that that's going to work. I think he's going to serve about 3-game suspension. So this is a make or break year for Jameis Winston, bro. Like, straight up and down. Like, this is a make or break year. I mean, for his career, he's 69 touchdowns, 44 interceptions. I mean, Jameis Winston was the first overall pick in that 2015 draft. So far, he hasn't really lived up to the number 1 overall pick. I mean, if you didn't know that Jameis Winston was the first overall pick in the draft, would you be able to tell that he was selected first overall? Like, would you be able to tell that? I don't think you could. Like, I don't think that he's been that productive. Now, granted, they had some offensive line issues earlier. I mean, but I still think that overall he's disappointed. Overall, as a quarterback, he's disappointed. I mean, he's thrown for double-digit interceptions every year he's been in the league. Now, he missed 3 games last year, but he still ended up with like 11 interceptions. And like 19 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their record has not been good with him under center. I don't have the exact numbers here, but I know that I know they're under 500 for sure. They're under 500. So, I mean, that's not a good start to a make or break year getting suspended for 3 games, you know. I don't think that's how you want to start it. This is 4th year, man. This is 4th year. So he has to start showing some real progress. Like, he has to take that leap in order for Tampa Bay to really keep their faith in him. Because me, I'm losing faith. Like, I thought he was going to be way better than he is now. Not saying that he's been bad. Like, Jameis Winston hasn't necessarily been bad, but I don't think that he's done enough to where we can say he's been good. He's been all right. He all right. Deion saying, yeah, all right. That's it. He's just all right. So, this isn't a good look for him, man. You know, if he wants to get a new contract, if he wants to be successful, I mean, you had people calling Jameis Winston, like, you had people taking Jameis Winston over Cam Newton and Matt Ryan. Like, I'll take Jameis Winston today over those guys. Now, granted, I don't know how many of those guys still have jobs with their respective networks, but, you know, whatever. You had people saying it. Now, I believe Jameis Winston can be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, I think that he could be. I don't see when I look at Jameis Winston, I don't see Hall of Famer. Like, I don't think Jameis Winston will be a Hall of Famer or anything of that nature. But could he be a starting solid quarter? Could he be a solid starting quarterback? Yeah, I think he can. And to a certain extent, he can show that from time to time. It's just that he's inconsistent with it. It's like Jameis Winston will have a game, you're like, oh man, he's on fire. And then he'll have a game, it's like, damn, why in the hell is he out there? Like, he's just so inconsistent with the way that he plays sometimes. So, I believe that he could still be a solid guy. I think he could be a solid quarterback. But stuff like this doesn't help. Now, as far as like my feelings about the NFL, now you guys know how I feel about the Reuben Foster situation. If you listen to the podcast, the lady saying that he beat on her, and then come to find out she lied. She made an official statement that she lied, hired a lawyer and everything to make the statement. Even said that she lied on somebody else in another relationship. So this girl just flat out lied on Reuben Foster. Now, am I saying that this girl lied? I don't know. I wasn't there. So was it Jameis Winston? Is this one of those things where, you know, no snitching? Oh man, I'm not gonna really say who it was, so I'm just gonna take the fall for it. Because, you know, you got guys, you know, Ronald Darby, cornerback for the Eagles, who's also a Florida State alum, said that he was in the car with Jameis Winston that night, and he thinks that she got people mixed up. Like, basically, yeah, Jameis Winston was in the backseat with me and somebody else was in the front. Now, they never said who was in the front. So it could be like one of those no snitching things, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, well, we just gonna get the bigger name. It's gonna be Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston did it. So I don't know, but I feel like the NFL is making the mistake suspending Jameis Winston, man. Like, if she didn't file any charges, she didn't file any police charges. She filed a complaint with Uber. She did not try to dole out any charges via the police. Now, of course, you get into the situation where, okay, well, of course she didn't. Typically, in these situations, you have the girl who doesn't feel like going to the police will solve anything. Okay, whatever. I mean, I guess I can see that. But I feel like if you felt like it was big enough, if it was big enough to report to Uber, I feel like you would have made a police report, at least. I almost feel like Uber would have required you to file a police report or something. Man, I don't know. I'm not a legal analyst or a lawyer or anything of that nature. I wasn't there. I don't know whether it happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was Jameis Winston. Maybe it was somebody else. I don't know if the girl's lying. Whatever. All I'm saying is that he was never charged with anything. So I hate the fact that the NFL does this, man. It's like they're trying to, they try to do too much. They doing too much. They're doing too much, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Reuben Foster ended up getting suspended, and he's been cleared off the. He's like super cleared. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that anyway, just because that's the climate that we're operating in. You got the whole Me Too movement. Like the NFL is like, man, we want to be safer than sorry, but I just don't like this, man, because you're gonna empower people to lie more. You're going to empower people, man. You're going to empower females. You're going to empower women to do stuff like that. To lie, like the Reuben Foster situation. That's what's going to happen. If they find out that, all I got to do is say he did something to me and he can get suspended, well, they're going to take that to the bank. They're going to keep doing it. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that this girl's doing it. I don't know. If you want my honest opinion, probably. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know what happened. But I feel like the NFL is they're going down a slippery slope with these suspensions, man. You feel me? Like if a guy really wasn't, if he didn't get charged with anything, man, never went to court, nothing. It's just an accusation. That's all it is. It's an accusation. He wasn't on camera doing anything. Like, he wasn't caught on camera. He wasn't, there were like no witnesses saying, yeah, I looked through the window and saw him feeling on this girl. Like, nothing like that. Then why the hell suspend him? Why suspend him? Like, why? Are they trying to send a message to him for getting involved in that and the stuff that he was involved in college with the whole sexual assault case, or the jumping on top of the lunch table or whatever, wherever he was, and yelling out the derogatory statement? Is it that? Because if it is, that's pretty whack, man. That's lame. And I don't like the NFL doing that. I mean, bro, if it's just like, man, damn, if I haven't been charged with anything, it hasn't went to court, I'm not on trial, it's just somebody pointing the finger at me saying I did something, why would I get suspended for that? Why? Like, what message are you trying to really send? Because to me, the only message that you're sending is that, oh yeah, all you have to do is accuse somebody of something in our league and we'll suspend them. People do lie. And people do tell the truth. We saw in the Reuben Foster case, somebody lied. Is this case truth to lie? I don't know. Maybe it's true he did it. Maybe it's not true. But at the same time, man, if that's all it takes is an accusation, man, what are we doing, man? Like, that's whack, man. I don't like the NFL doing it. So I think they need to calm down with that type of stuff, man. Because I'm telling y'all, it's gonna happen more. Like, seriously, he ends up serving this 3-game suspension. You heard it here first on the Tree Truth. There are going to be more stories like this coming out. Now, if they're true, if you got some weirdo filling on a girl, then, I mean, of course, they should be taken care of. They should be thrown in jail, prosecuted, whatever. But I'm telling y'all, you're going to have a lot more of these stories, a lot more of these cases, man, where it's literally just girls trying to destroy guys' careers. And it's the truth, man. I don't hold back on nothing like this. I'm really passionate about this type of stuff because I hate to see dudes go down like this. Young black dudes, man. Straight up. But I just hate the fact that the NFL is doing this, man. Now, Jameis Winston, hey, all I got to say is when he comes back, man, he needs to step it up. Because 69 touchdowns, 44 interceptions ain't going to get it. My first overall pick, man. That just ain't going to get it. He has to be more consistent. And if he wants a big contract, he wants to get extended, man, he needs to do better. He has to do better. Like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they need to start showing some progress this year. And he's going to be a big part of it. So he has to step it up. I think that he ends up serving a 3-game suspension. But yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of the NFL. I'm not a big fan of the suspension, man. It's back in 2016. The girl didn't file any charges, official charges. She didn't go to the police. She went to Uber, and that was it. And they suspended his Uber ability or whatever. I don't like this from the NFL, man. I'm telling you, they are going down a slippery slope doing stuff like this. I promise you. Y'all heard it here first on the T-Truth, man. I'm telling you. Just watch out. Stuff like this keeps happening. It's going to get worse. But anyway, man. Your boy Baker Mayfield, the limousine riding, crotch grabbing, flag planting, running from the police, son of a gun he is, was actually on the herd on Thursday. So, for you guys who don't know, Colin Cowherd, the host of the herd, has been very critical. He has been very critical of Baker Mayfield, man. So, Baker Mayfield ended up on the show, had a conversation. I'll link it in the description if you guys are interested in watching it. I think overall it was a good interview. I'm not going to lie. I think it was a pretty good interview. And I can see how somebody can walk away from that saying, damn, Baker Mayfield isn't the guy that I thought he was. He isn't as bad as I thought he was. I could see somebody saying that. He came across very respectful. They had a good conversation, had good dialogue. Overall, I think it was a success. So, in saying that, now y'all know me, man. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know me, man. Like, I don't just be buying all that. Like, he did nothing to change my opinion on him. I still think that by him not being able to control his emotions in college, that's going to transition to the NFL. And that's what's going to hold him back. I think the guy has talent. He has ability, for sure. No doubt about it. We know that. But I'm telling y'all, not being able to control your emotions, man, it's going to affect him. It's going to affect him on the field. And I think that it will have some type of residual effect on off the field. That's just me. So the whole conversation you had with Colin, I'm not buying it. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't get inside his head. I can't get inside his heart, find out what's really in his heart. In the interview, he was, they actually brought up the video of him running from the police, and he's like, man, I just made a bad decision. I thought I was in trouble. Man, I just wish I could go back and do things differently. I mean, at the end of the day, does he really feel remorse? Does he really feel embarrassed by that? I don't know. I can't get inside the guy and determine it. If you believe him, you believe him. If you don't believe him, you don't believe him. But at the end of the day, I understand that. And I hate to do this, man, because at the end of the day, we really just don't know. But I mean, he knows he knows what time it is, man. With these questions. I mean, he went through the combine. I'm pretty sure they grilled him on everything and more. So he's prepared for these types of questions. He's prepared for these types of interviews. So he has the script well written for him. He has the script well written up. So he knows what to say. He knows what not to say. Yada, yada, yada. So I'm not buying it, man. That did nothing to make me think anything else other than what I've been thinking. And I would not have drafted Baker Mayfield. That's just me. I would not have drafted him. I definitely would not have drafted him first overall. To be honest, I wouldn't have drafted him at all. I just don't. I don't buy him, man. I just don't buy him. Now, one thing I will say, and that I've been consistent on about Baker Mayfield, he has that edge. And I mean, he showed that in the interview, like just by coming out. He had the shirt that said undraftable. And that's what Colin said at one point in time. He's undraftable. So he basically made fun of that statement. Tried to stick it to Colin by having that shirt on. So he has that edge, man, and he has that will. He has some moxie about him. Like, yeah, I'm gonna show y'all. Like, y'all thought that I couldn't do what I did at Oklahoma. You think that I wasn't worthy of a number 1 overall pick with Cleveland? Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what time it is. I think that that's actually a thing right there. That's something that should not be ignored. You got a guy like that got an edge that's gonna work his ass off. Been doubted his whole career. Like that's something to pay attention to. You can't scoff at that. And I think that that'll help him. But at the same time, man, I just think that him not being able to control his emotions will hurt him. I think that will hurt him. Now, as far as going into this season, I think that the Browns need to stick with Tyrod Taylor. I think the Browns will be very good, bro. I'm telling y'all. I know y'all think I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Like, every time I bring them up, I get so just excited. I'm telling you, fantasy football, which, man, I'm telling y'all might want to try to load up on Cleveland Browns players. I mean, I'm telling you, Tyrod Taylor, Nick Chubb, Carlos Hyde, assuming he can get through a 16-game season, Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon. I'm a big Josh Gordon fan. David Njoku, this will be his second year. They have talent there. Corey Coleman. I mean, they may trade him, but he still has some talent. My guy, Antonio Callaway. Well, I'm telling y'all, you heard it here on the Chief Truth first. Antonio Callaway will end up having a Tyreek Hill-like impact on the Browns. I'm telling y'all. That dude is uber talented, bro. If he did not have the off-the-field concerns, he would have went first. He probably would have been the first receiver drafted. He definitely would have been in the first round. He would have won the first round, no doubt. That guy is dynamic. And you give a guy like Hugh Jackson, Ty Haley, that type of talent, they're going to get the ball to him. Similar to Andy Reid. You give Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. Like, Sammy Watkins is going to be way better in Kansas City this year than he was in LA. I think so. Not saying that Sean McVay isn't a good, offensive mind or whatever. But anyway, the Browns. The Browns be very good. And if I'm them, I don't rush Baker Mayfield, which he actually said during the interview. Or maybe that was another interview. He was like, yeah, just not going to rush it. That's what they've indicated. That's what they've told me from the beginning. Hey, just be ready when the opportunity comes. When the opportunity knocks, just be ready to answer. So if I'm Cleveland, I don't rush him out there. I think you got a good thing going. I like Hugh Jackson as a coach, as an offensive mind. I like Ty Haley as an offensive mind. I like Tyrod Taylor if he can just stay healthy. He's always getting knocked upside the head and getting injured. So they have a good thing going, man. So I wouldn't rush Baker Mayfield out there, man. But at the end of the day, I'm not hating on the guy. I don't wish him any, bad luck or anything like that. But I'm telling y'all, man, I can't have my quarterback not being able to control himself and not being able to control his emotions. I understand, man, it's college and we want to be all excited and you want to run up and down the field like a crazed maniac or something. Nah, pimp. Nah. I don't, if you're the leader of my franchise, I don't need you doing that. Colin has this phrase, quarterback you. I need my quarterbacks to act quarterback you. I need for you to be quarterback you. It's no different than a pilot or like if you go on a Delta flight right now and your pilot was dressed, let's say your pilot was dressed like a clown. I mean, would you not be afraid to get on that flight? First of all, you might just be afraid, period, because you're afraid of clowns. But would you just be like, oh, why is he dressed like a clown? You want your pilot to be dressed, right? You want him or her to be dressed nicely. Suit, got the uniform on, got the hat on, look like they ready to fly a plane. You know? Now, even though they may have that clown suit on, they may be the best pilot in the world. But perception is reality. And we've seen this movie before, man. We've seen it before. We've seen it with Johnny Manziel. Now, some of the comparisons I can't see, but some of the comparisons, man, the small size, the arrogance. Hey, I mean, I can see some of that. I can see some of the comparisons. I think some of the comparisons are not as sufficient or whatever. Like, can't make some of those comparisons. But yeah, man, Baker Mayfield, I'm not rooting against him. I just don't believe that he'll end up being much in the league. But I do like the fact that he's with Hugh Jackson and Ty Haley. More Hugh Jackson than Ty Haley, because we saw what Hugh Jackson did with Andy Dalton. And I don't think anybody believes that Andy Dalton is necessarily an elite quarterback. Now, I believe Andy Dalton's a good quarterback. But, I mean, he elevated Andy Dalton. Like, they were talking about Andy Dalton being MVP. Okay? Like that, like those were actual arguments. Those were actual discussions. And a lot of that had to do with Hugh Jackson being the offensive mind that he is, man. So anyway, not really, getting swayed by the whole Baker Mayfield interview. But I thought it was cool that he hopped on there to confront Colin, or they confronted each other, however you want to label it. It was cool. So anyway, maybe that gives me hope that Ronda Rousey will come on the Cheap Truth one day, and then we can really have it out. Got something for her. But anyway, man, so Cheap Truth, man, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Hope you all have a good weekend. Be safe out there, man. Stay cool. Hey, man, have fun, whatever you may be doing this weekend. Just make sure you be safe. And I will definitely talk to you guys next week. So, peace out. Be easy. Stay safe.